What's going on YouTube? In today's YouTube video, we'll be talking about how to feed your newborn baby formula powder. Now, if you have a newborn, you will most likely be told that you'll need to feed your newborn ready to drink baby formula, most likely Enfamil, NeuroPro, or something along those lines. And yeah, it's expensive. Basically, long story short, 6 2-ounce Enfamil NeuroPros is $10. So yeah, newborns drink about 2 ounces per feed every 2 to 3 hours, and they don't recommend you use baby formula powder, which is completely understandable because it even says here that, if you read here, powder infant formulas are not sterile. That's one of the reasons why. It's not sterile. So the water could be clean, the bottles can be clean, but what it comes down to is preparing the baby powder formula the right way. And long story short, I've tried to do it myself and I came across a couple of problems, and I'm here to share this video so that you can actually feed your baby powder formula and it'll save you an arm and a leg. Now, first things first, you need to essentially boil the water and use a thermometer, something like this, right? And the boiling temperature is 212 degrees. You want to boil the water for a good 1 minute and then let it cool down to 158 degrees, and then you could add the powder to the water. Now, doing this led me to one problem. So when I scoop it and I got the hot water in there, I'm about to scoop it in there, the steam will touch this and it'll condensate and it'll have a bunch of basically the powder will just like stick to this and you'll have inaccurate amounts of portions going in there. So one thing I've done is, instead of pouring in the water first like you should and then the powder, I basically poured the powder in first, used the same exact bottle, measured it to whatever. One scoop is 2 ounces, so I'd put 1 scoop in here, and then I'd pour 2 ounces of water in the same identical bottle, and then pour that into on top of the bottle where the formula is on the bottom, and then I'd let it sit. I would use this and I would mix it, and then I'd leave that in there for 5 minutes so that the heat can essentially kill anything that's bad in there. Okay, you want to do 158 degrees because, long story short, if it's anything hotter, what will end up happening is all the nutrients and whatnot will experience degradation due to the heat. So 158 degrees is essential. And once that's done, I close it and I could run it through a cold water till it's room temperature and so forth, because you can't really feed your baby hot formula. Now, with Bobby, they say that once you make the formula, it's good for 2 hours after you make it. But if as soon as it touches your baby's lips, it's good for an hour. And also, if you basically pre-make it, the way I just explained to you, you could store upwards to 24 hours. But here's a problem. If this is 158 degrees and I use one of these caps and I close it, and I just put this into the fridge, what will end up happening is it'll take a while for it to get to 37 degrees. So you got to basically super cool it. And the way I do it is I put it in a bowl filled with ice and water and salt, and I'll basically swish it around in the cold water, because if you let it sit, only the liquids from the outside touching the glass would cool down opposed to the middle. So you want to mix it. It's like, yeah. So yeah, but that all being said, this is how I do it. I am Amazon affiliate, so please use the links in the description below for everything that I talk about. All right. In order to achieve cooling this as quickly as possible, is you need a glass bottle. All right. Now, unfortunately, I can't post this on Amazon because Amazon doesn't sell glass bottles. You'd have to buy this at Target. Anyways, moving forward, you need a mixer. Now, if you mix it yourself, it'll have bubbles in it. This is very inexpensive. I'll put the link in the description below. All right. Now, I'm gonna talk about what products I use to wash the bottles, clean the bottles, and what I use to essentially clean the tap water. Okay, so let's dive into it. Step 1, I use the Dabble Baby bottle and dish soap, and I use this, right? So this portion I would use inside the bottle, and this is what I would use to get inside the nipple, right? So I'll put the links in the description below for this and this. Now the water. So I take the cold water and put inside this container, any container. This is made out of glass. Use whatever. Okay. Then I'll take the water and I'll put it into the zero water. I'll put a link in the description below. For the zero water, I have multiple 1, 2, and 3. Okay, once the tap water goes through the zero water, I'll take that water and I'll put it into a container, which will be going to the distiller. So I have the zero water tap water filtered, and I'll put it into the distiller. Okay, this is just for demonstration purposes. I'll put this over here. Okay, align that, hold on. Align that, and turn it on. While the water is being distilled, after I wash everything, all the bottles, I'll put it into this public, and what will end up happening is the steam will go up and it'll sanitize everything and whatnot. Then what I'll do is when the distilled water is done, I'll put it into this glass jug, right? And I'll put it into this glass tea kettle, and I'll boil it, and I'll use a thermometer. I don't recommend this because I bought this, and long story short, it doesn't really work. But I bought me a NeuroPro. I'll put the link in the description below. I left that at my mom's house. Anyways, and then yeah, I'll boil it, let it come down to 158 degrees. Normally, once it's at 163 degrees, I'll initiate putting it into the bottles and so forth. Okay, so I want to make a bunch of these, right, and store them because Bobby, once it's stored, you could use it upwards to 24 hours. So imagine this being filled up to 2 ounces of baby formula already mixed, and it's hot, right? You can't just put this in the fridge. So what I'll do is I'll put this in there. I'll fill it up with cold water. I'll put ice in there. I have an ice maker. I'll put a link in the description below of a nice ice maker, and put some salt in there as well. And then once it's in there, right, I'll leave it, and then I'll mix it. So imagine I have like 4 of these in here, right? Well, these are dirty, but anyways. So I'll mix it, and continue on and so forth. And I'll have like, I make a total of 12. I'll make a total of 12 bottles, which, you know, it's ready for 24 hours. That's 12 feedings a day. And yeah, once they're nice and cold, I put them in the fridge. And I put a timer somewhere to make sure that I'm still within the first 2 hours. But I usually tend to do this within, I'd say, 15 minutes. So I'll have like 12 bottles here. I'll put 1 scoop, 1 scoop, 1 scoop, 1 scoop, 1 scoop, and I'll have a extra same exact bottle, and I'll pour the tea kettle. I'll pour the ea kettle in here to 2 ounces, and I'll pour that in 1, 2, 3, and once I'm done with filling all 12 bottles, I'll go in like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll put these caps on. I'll put a link in the description below for this, and then I'll super cool it like I demonstrated, minus the salt, minus the ice, because I'm not at that point yet. Now this is plastic. Plastic is pretty much no good. Why? Because first off, plastic is plastic, and when hot water touches it, it could release BPAs, which is plastic, and it's like essentially synthetic estrogen once it's in your body. Okay. You could be tempted to buy one of these, the Dr. Brown, which mixes it, but this is plastic. And how are you going to super cool this? The whole point of storing something when it's hot is to have it cold already before it goes into the fridge. So if this is 24 ounces and it's steaming hot, not only will the heat release BPA into the baby formula, but when you put this in your fridge, it'll take like 3-4 hours for it to get to, you know, cooling temperatures. Hence why the only way around it is super cooling it in small amounts, and it's got glass. Even if this thing was glass, it would take so long for it to cool down, because you're only having a 2-hour window to basically cool it down, right? So yeah, so that's why I have for you. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell's notification button. Thank you for watching. I hope my video was informative. Please be careful. Wash your hands, wash your bottles. So I wash the bottles, and I also put in the Papabolic to sanitize it. As far as the water goes, I take tap water, I filter it through the zero water, and from the zero water, I put it into the distiller. The reason why I do that is because water has all sorts of things in it, including PFAS or PFOAs. Nothing good. You could get a reverse osmosis filtration system, but if you filter this through zero water and then through the distiller, you'll be good. And the most important thing about feeding powdered formula is you have to heat it with glass. Glass is a good conductor, heat conductor, hence why they have, like, metal is a good heat conductor, metal, glass, plastic, not really. So, oh yeah, so once I have this in the fridge, what I'll do is I'll put the hot water on and I'll mix it. Mix it. I'll mix it like so, or mix it in here like so. And then I'll just grab onto it and I'll feel if it's room temperature or not, or if it's still cold. So once I mix it, and I'll let all the hot water drip away from it. Once I realize that it's nice and warm, then it's ready to feed. Because not only do you have to worry about feeding your baby hot liquids, but also cold liquids. You know, it doesn't have to be body temperature. It just has to be room temperature, really. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be a certain temperature. But anyways, that's all I have for you. So this will be in the link in the description below. This will be in the link in the description below. This will be in the link in the description below. This will be in the link in the description below. This will be in the link in the description below. This drying rack will be in the description below. The distiller, the zero water, the Papabolic, all those will be in the description below. Support me. I make a 4% commission if you use my link in the description below. So yeah, hope I was informative. Comment below, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks.